It's late, man. I was gonna crawl into bed, maybe watch a little One Piece, a little YouTube, I don't know, something, but I decided to log into Twitter, only to find that Yeet is continuing his absolute insanity run over there into the godforsaken hours of the night, just dunking on Hassan Piker and his merry band of morons. Bro went quite literally back to back, exposing the likes of Hassan, Anisa, and her husband Idubbbz, and the rest of their little echo chamber of cringe. Like, I'm not kidding, it seemed like every post for a while was one of them saying some stupid shit, and I figured we could talk about it today, maybe make fun of them a little bit. Should be a good time, so yeah, let's roll this shit. I'm sure it'll be oh so educational as always. But before we do, like the video, subscribe. A lot of you guys aren't doing that. It's kind of a dick move. Nobody likes a dick, so do it. But yeah, let's get into it. So first things first, we're going to focus on the greatest event organizers and the most charitable people on planet Earth, obviously Idubbbz and Anisa. Their most recent drama and controversy involves Donut Operator. He's one of the co-hosts on the Unsubscribed podcast over on YouTube. And essentially, on one of their most recent episodes, him and their group of friends start talking about Creator Clash and their interactions that they've had with Idubbbz. Tectone was on there, and he was talking about basically how he doesn't fuck with Idubbbz because he backstabbed Ethan Klein and all that. They're just kind of making fun of him about how he, became kind of weird once the whole OnlyFans thing with Anissa. That's not really what we're here to focus on. What we're here to focus on is that amidst that banter, Donut Operator revealed that he actually used to be friends with Idubbbz until a ridiculous falling out occurred. I'll go ahead and play the clip.
He made a post, I think, or something.
He went to a range day with me one time. We used to talk a lot about content creation and stuff. And COVID rolls around, I get bored at home, so I make an OnlyFans where I'm showing my meat.
Really?
Basically, I'm taking a steak and I'm rating a steak.
See, that's the reaction that you're supposed to have.
Genius.
I thought it was funny. So I'd be wearing just an apron. Of course, I'm wearing boxers underneath. And I'd reach down and be like, "This is my OnlyFans," and this is an A5 Wagyu from down the street. And I would talk about it. And I sent it to Ian, and he got mad and called me and said I was making fun of Anisa, and I wasn't. I just thought it was a funny bit because I was sitting at home during COVID. And
You'll never understand what it's like to be an ally.
Yeah, it was. He said stuff like that, and yeah. Just haven't talked to him since. That was 5 years ago.
Over that?
Yeah, and I've texted him and tried to reconnect with him. He just won't talk to me anymore.
So naturally, everybody's favorite cuckold content cop is going to catch wind of this, right? And boy, was he pissed. So he says, conveniently leaving out that your girlfriend at the time was pursuing OnlyFans, but you were too pussy to deal with the criticism, so you made a, quote, parody account. No, I don't want to be friends with a coward. Alright, man, so we got to break this down. So first and foremost, I think the fact that Idubbbz is coming out here calling people pussy, calling people cowardly is just fucking insane because the dude can't think for himself. He's literally just like Anisa's little parrot. He hasn't had a genuinely organic thought in fucking years, right? So to come out here and talk about, oh, you're just a pussy that can't deal with criticism and you're a coward when literally I've made countless videos covering how he refuses to take any ownership for fucking up Creator Clash. How he talks about how, oh, I don't want to, perpetuate the drama with Ethan Klein and then creates a 1 hour content cop about him and refuses to acknowledge it. And the whole thing is just laughable, really. I mean, you really expect us to sit here and believe that this guy is the pussy, this guy's the coward. What the fuck? That's the first thing. Second thing I want to mention is that Donut Operator in that clip, he mentions that there was no ill intention, right? He says, I was locked up away during COVID, couldn't go anywhere. I got bored as fuck, so I had a big slab of Wagyu, right? So I just sent a funny little TikTok or, I don't know, some funny little video he made to Idubbbz privately, might I add. And I believe that's important because if there was any sort of ill intention, if he was trying to stir the pot, make fun of Ian, make fun of Anissa, don't you think he would have aired that dirty laundry out over the internet? I don't know, maybe in a content cop or various embarrassing tweets over on Twitter. No, it was a private video that he sent to his longtime friend, right? Like, we all send funny shit back and forth to our friends. Like, I don't understand where Idubbbz is coming from here. Like, it's so weird. And like I mentioned previously, like, Tectone and Donut Operator and the boys over on the podcast, they talk about how ever since he got with Anisa, it's really strange. Like, Idubbbz has almost become like so fragile, and yet at the same time he's like developed this sense of like chronic victimhood, and like bro thinks he's the main character, right? He's got a really bad case of main character syndrome. Like, not everything is about you, dude. You know, not everyone's out to get you. No one's out here to make fun of you and embarrass you. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. I mean, I'm out here to make fun of you. There's some people on Twitter. A lot of people are out here trying to make fun of you. But Donut Operator in that given circumstance was not one of them, buddy. Quite frankly, you're doing that in your own right, on your own accord. And the mental gymnastics you have to jump through to even reach that conclusion, you know, that, this video about a fucking steak, you know, rubbing my meat, he must be making fun of my wife and her OnlyFans. Like, how do you even reach that conclusion? Like, genuinely, it's so insane. Oh, my buddy sent me a funny video during lockdown, you know, a time when we can't go out to grab a bite to eat or visit each other or go to a bar or do anything fun socially, right? He must have it out for me and my girlfriend, who happens to be parading her balloon knot to everybody except him over on our OnlyFans. Like, how do you reach that conclusion genuinely? I am so goddamn confused. I feel like you have to be on drugs or something. That's the only way to explain this. The whole thing reeks of insecurity. You know, Idubbbz is clearly projecting here, because not only is this claim that Donut's girl was doing OnlyFans herself not verified, you know, in other words, it's a he said, she said thing, and I think it's pretty safe to assume that it's just Idubbbz projecting and that it's not at all true. We can assume that, at least for now, right? But even if she was over there on OnlyFans, who the fuck cares, dude? Because again, it was a joke. It was made out of boredom during a global shutdown. You aren't the main character, you know, you're the main villain maybe, because everybody hates you and you're pathetic and always end up humiliating yourself, but it's not all about you, dude. I swear this dude has like some sort of humiliation fetish or something. But that's not where it ends, you know. This shit's about to go full retard, because fortunately for us, Anisa joins the conversation and she has this to say. He also took us to a gun show where a child accidentally fired a gun that was loaded on a sales table into the crowd, and everyone nonchalantly said ND in unison like it wasn't a big deal. What the fuck is this point? Like, what is she trying to say here? What does this contribute to the conversation? And more importantly, what does this prove about Donut Operator? So if I'm to understand the situation correctly, I'm supposed to sit here and believe that Idubbbz's unverified claims are true, and Donut is just this awful person because they went to some event and something 100% out of his control happened, and therefore he's just this piece of shit. You know, Donut here is the next Hitler, guys. Like, thank you so much for that, I don't know, that contribution, we'll say. You know, very thought-provoking. You're right, Anissa. What a piece of garbage. Give me a fucking break. What a dumbass, man. And speaking of Anisa making herself look like a dumbass, once again she's back to crashing out over on Twitter like she's a goddamn middle schooler or something. And it's all in regards to Ethan Klein again, go figure. And essentially what happened was Ethan decided to call her out on her hypocrisy. Anisa said I should be robbed for wearing a Rolex. That's a nearly 4K bag. Who's that for? According to Anisa and her husband, you deserve to be mocked if you wear anything that's considered a status symbol. Louis Vuitton is considered just that and has been for many decades. Taking and posing for casual pics looks like a statement to me. She claims she didn't even want a ring that was over 1K, was afraid of being robbed, lol. So once again, you know, Anisa, who's just so full of compassion, you know, she's on the right side of history, right? She's on the right side of her story. She's so full of empathy. You know, her and Idubbbz in their late 30s have finally discovered the wonderful magical gift of empathy, right? As she's out here wishing harm upon Ethan, you know, you've got this Rolex, you know, you should be robbed. I hope you get robbed for your status symbol, you know, as she's flexing a $4,000 Louis Vuitton bag. And I know this is a nothing burger, like at the end of the day, who the fuck really cares? But it's like, you are such a goddamn hypocrite. And it just proves that she will get pissed off and feel like a victim over anything, man. So essentially, if Ethan Klein wears all these expensive clothes and these designer watches and shit, you know, he deserves ridicule. You know, he should be made fun of. He should be physically assaulted. And he's just honestly a greedy, capitalist, bigoted fucking pig, right? But if I do, you know, it's just cute Instagram photos, you know, just a little flex. Like, what a fucking hypocrite, man. I seriously can't. But Ian and Anisa aren't the only ones that are making themselves look like jackasses. So recently, Kick announced that Tectone had signed a massive deal to go stream over there with them. And needless to say, Idubbbz and Frogan were not too thrilled about it. So Idubbbz on her personal account quote tweeted it by saying, "Kick recruiting a sex pest during Pride Month is so brave." To which Frogan naturally reposts it. And like, is this not insane? Because just a mere couple of weeks ago, Idubbbz was playing the victim, talking about how, oh, you know, Ethan Klein is spewing all these defamatory claims about me, and I'm not responsible for the CPS calls and the CPS visits, and I'm gonna sue the pants off you, mister. And then obviously that fell through because it's a fucking joke and would never ever possibly able to come to fruition. But it's like, does she not realize that he could do the very same thing to her that she was trying to do to Ethan Klein? Like calling someone a sex pest when they just signed this major streaming deal. Like, do you know how defamatory that is? Like, is there any brain activity going on genuinely? Like, is there any sort of self-awareness from anyone in this group? And then, you know, Frogan's not even involved in this. Like, it has nothing to do with her, and yet she sees it and says, oh, you know, Teehee, that's so funny. Let me repost it real quick. Like, I think what it boils down to, honestly, is these two bitches are so mad that they're not getting their own Kick deal. Like, my fucking videos on YouTube get more viewers than Frogan does, and yet I'm supposed to believe that Idubbbz and Frogan over here were just cooking some fucking blue, yellow, pink like they're goddamn Walter White from Breaking Bad. Like, get the fuck out of here. Y'all are so fucking pathetic. Y'all are so jealous. That's what it stems from, really. It's got to be jealousy or something. Because, like, what the fuck is even this tweet? But that's going to do it for me, guys. I appreciate y'all watching the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like rating, subscribe to the channel. Don't be a dick. Leave a comment down below. I would absolutely love to hear what y'all have to say about all this. And, guys, I'm done yapping for now. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Later.